Hey everyone, it's Kayla here with Showbiz. Got another blog here today to talk to you about basically how sports can relate and intertwine with the media and the culture in today's society. And today we're going to be talking about primarily the Boston Marathon bombing and how that relates to it. I am sporting my Mizzou volleyball today, talking about sports, so here we go. A little history for you. The marathon bombing is a 26.2 mile race that occurs every year down in Boston, Massachusetts. And in about 2013, two bombings occurred during that race at the end of that finish line, injuring more than 100 people and killing 3. That was a huge turn in events, just like the World Trade Centers collapsing and getting taken on by those two planes. Kind of shook the nation, and it spread like wildfire. You know, everyone kind of knew within just a few months, even. So social media and just our culture in general is always very news related. So that spread through that, but also it spread through a pretty big sporting event that happened just about 5 days after that, which is the Boston Red Sox playing a baseball game there in Boston. That was I want to say 2 days after they had arrested that second bomber. So they knew exactly who did it, but that kind of erupted the city. And the city came together very quickly, very strong. And the announcer had kind of mentioned or did a speech at the beginning of that pregame baseball game ceremony, basically saying thank you to not only the city, but the police officers, the first responders, the people that had no medical training but still helped at the scene of that bombing, and the medical hospital and all that kind of the field that did help those sick and injured people. So that coming together at one sports event, that shows how strong the sports can impact our culture. So by taking time out of such a short time out of such a big game, that led to a lot of big phrases that we now still say. One speech that really touched my heart specifically was David Ortiz, player of the Red Sox. He had mentioned that this is our city, and that nothing could bring them down from that, and that they're very strong in what they call Boston Strong. So Boston Strong is still, from that speech, a phrase that everyone around the country will know, recognize, and use. So that is kind of how sports relates to the media and their culture, and now we celebrate that Boston bombing, not necessarily the bombing, but the strength of the city, and fighting back from that in that Boston Marathon still today.